Jack that car up. Now I'm jacking it up from the tow hitch. I'm gonna put a jack stand under the car. We are going to remove these lugs. Take that wheel off. Keep in mind, we already chalked the rear wheel, so we should be good on that aspect. So get yourself an S hook, put it on the strut. That's where we're gonna hang the caliper. So I'm doing a brake job on here, or I'm just changing the brake pads out, but I am gonna remove the caliper. So I like doing that just the first time I do brakes on any car, really, just so I have a baseline and I know, okay, the next time I come back to do the brakes, we're good to go. And let's see if I can remove it by hand. I wasn't able to take the other one off by hand. Did have to. No, it's not wanting to come free, but it's all good. So we have power tools. Inside nut right here, it's going to be a 19 millimeter. So get a 19 millimeter wrench on there, and then a 14 millimeter to break it loose. There you go. Went ahead and got that thing out. So I don't know what they put on that bolt, but they put some weird stuff on there, and I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and pry that off. Just kind of like a compressing motion. Dude, I'm telling you, whatever they put on that brake pad, that thing smells rank. Like it, I do not like the smell of that. This just got off. I just want a little bit of persuasion. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this hook somewhere to hold it just for now. Actually, let's remove the whole thing. So let's go ahead, that whole thing. That's on there. Okay, so now we're gonna need a 19 millimeter, and we're gonna take the caliper off. Again, you don't really need to do this if you're just changing the brake pads. I just like to do this anytime I do the brake job for the first time, so I can go ahead and clean everything. So 19 on the bottom. I find that turning the impact helps. I don't know why, but hey, it helps. At least for me. There we are. Those are off. Go ahead, take the brake. Well, you can take the brake pads off later. So these are 19 millimeter. Remove these. The bottom one. Okay. Now we got those off. Want to fall over. So let's take the brake pads out. And this one severely needed brake pads. I'm pretty sure if that's not metal on metal, I don't know what is. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You know, surprisingly, the rotor, it had just the tiniest bit of life left, to the point where it wasn't messing everything up severely. We have new hardware, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the old hardware and put that old hardware in a box somewhere. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and clean this caliper out. So get yourself a wire wheel. I mean, I have power tools, some use power tools. And you wanna clean this section right here. Clean that. Clean any mating surfaces, just so you have a nice place to go. Now, if it's really bad, you can get yourself a file or a flathead and just pick off the rust. But this one it's not really that bad, to be honest. So this is what you want it to look like. You see how it's nice and clean in there? It's nice and smooth. We're going to clean it up a little bit more. We're going to do the other side, and then we're going to clean the boots out. Okay, that's good enough. That's good for what we're doing. I'm go ahead, take the pin off, and clean it. Just the reason that I do that is, well, I don't know what the previous person did, and they might have done a good job. They really might have. But I just like knowing 100% sure that my job was done good by me. Now, you don't need to do all these extra steps if your boots move back and forth like this. If it moves back and forth, that's pretty good. But I just want to leave it to the point where I know, okay, that's good. So I'm going to clean this out, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. I'm just going to spray some brake cleaner in there, rub it out, get all the good bad stuff out, whatever. And then I'll show you the re-greasing and everything in a bit. So we're going to get some grease, put it on the caliper pin slide bolt, whatever the heck you want to call it. There's many different names for it, but I just call it the slide pins. Tomato. Anyways, so this is the one without the little rubber piece. That one goes on the bottom. So don't get them mixed up because they're different. Let's put this brake caliper back on. What I like doing is I like putting some blue Loctite on the bolt itself. Just because, I mean, think about it. Your brakes vibrate. And a lot of manufacturers, they recommend you put blue Loctite. Not the red stuff. That red stuff you really gotta. That red stuff really does not like to come off. But say whatever you want in the comments. But I am a firm believer that blue Loctite doesn't. I'm gonna go ahead. Put that back on there. Put the bolts in their corresponding place. Now these bolts are gonna get torqued down to 101 foot-pounds. Wait for that click. There you go, 101. All right, 101 there. Back to what we were doing. That kind of sucks that it stopped recording. All we did, put the caliper mount on there and torque those down to 101 foot-pounds. Okay, now it is time to put the brake hardware on there. What I like to do, I like to put just a little bit of grease on that, just a smidge. I like putting some right there too, just a little bit. You don't need to go overboard with it. And then go ahead, put the hardware on. That's good there. New hardware, put a little bit of grease on there. Not a lot. See, that's a lot, but just a little bit. Let's just spread that out just a little bit. Now that's just the way I like doing it. Haven't had any complaints. So actually, I've only had good things people have said about it. So hey, maybe it works. Maybe I'm not cuckoo. There's two brake pads. One that has a little ear, and that's the wear indicator. That goes on the inside, so it goes over here. And the one without the wear indicator goes on the outside. And that's really the standard for most car, if not every car. All right, so go ahead, put a little bit of grease on the ears. I like doing that. Put a little bit of grease on the ears. Put some grease on the bottom of the ears. All of the ears. Like when you're doing brakes, grease them ears up, and then, well, I'll do that step a little bit later. I like doing a little bit of grease on the hardware itself. This hardware came up just a little bit, so I'm going to put that back down. Okay. So now that we have grease on the hardware, we're going to go ahead and put that, oh, doing it upside down over here. Anyways, that goes there. All right, that just slides in place like that. All right. Now, time to do, well, let me just put a, I'll do that towards the end. Same thing. Put a little bit of grease on the ears. Not on the pad, but on the ears. Just clarifying. A little bit of grease right there. A little bit of grease right here too. Let me do it again. Pull that tab up, and the brake pads should just slide into place. There we are. Now, after doing that, I like putting a little bit of grease on the pad itself. Doesn't have to be very thick, just a thin layer, just so it's able to move around. And the same thing for the other side. So now I am going to clean that caliper pin, this one right here. Go ahead and clean that up, re-grease it. This is the grease I'm using. Man, I love this. I've been using this for a while. I've had no issues with it. Uh-huh. Okay. So now go ahead, put the caliper back in. Let me just compress that caliper just a little bit more. In order to compress it, I like opening the cap and I like putting a rag around it. And that's the reason I put a rag around it, because when you compress it, the fluid comes back up. So that's why I like putting a rag on there, because brake fluid is very corrosive. Anyways. That should be good. All right, now push it forward. That should just slide right on. Really? There we go. It's on there. Okay. Dude, I don't know what the heck they put on there. Anyways. Go ahead and put that little bolt in there. And we're going to torque that down to 37 foot-pounds. So, 37 foot-pounds. Snug it up with this. Get your torque wrench. Put that on there. Okay, there you go. Clicked. We're good to go. Now time to put the wheels back on. Okay. These have been the most annoying set of wheels I've ever had to work on. But it's okay. So we always want to start things by hand. Okay, so we're gonna jack the car up, take the jack stands out, and lower the car. So again, I'm gonna start them off by hand with a regular wrench. Now, so I have it set to 94 foot-pounds. See that right there? Let's start with this one. Kind of want to get on the edge right there. Just so it doesn't get stuck. So it's just gonna click. There you go. There you go. We're good. Now we go to this one. Again, we're doing a star pattern. It's there. No, it's there. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. There's this right here. There we are. One more. All right, that was good. Do one more time. That click. I'm gonna go over all of them one more time. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, we're good to go. That is how to change your brakes. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and do the oil.
Okay, the last and final steps are you go in your car and you pump your brake pads. And the reason you do this is because it pushes the pistons outwards and that compresses the brake pads towards the rotors. So now you're getting contact and you don't get a mushy brake pad. So that is a very crucial step that you do not want to miss out on. And also, after you do that, go for a drive. And if it's possible for you and where you live, go from 50 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour, like a decrease of 30 miles per hour, and do that at least 10 times, but do it slowly. And in between each time, set like a 30-second interval just so your brake pads don't get too hot. That is just to bed your new brake pads in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.